The story begins with the main character waking up from being unconscious because of a loud noise. The first thing he saw when he opened his eyes was a fire. When he looked closer, he realized it was a bonfire, and some people were celebrating a party, but he mistook it for a camp party and didn't want to miss out. Suddenly, he smelled roasted lamb, which made him even more determined to join the party, as it had both food and beautiful ladies. The moment he tried to run toward them, he fell to the ground and noticed he was tied with a rope. He was confused about why he was tied up. Then, a screen appeared in front of him, showing that he had a mission to survive for 12 hours while being chased by primitive people. Soon, Chen saw some men roaming around the bonfire. He wondered where they came from, and tried to recall where a certain girl was. Chen even tried to tell the primitive men that there was a mistake, but as they came closer, Chen remembered what had happened to him. The scene then shifted to the past, 12 hours earlier, on a desolate island where Chen was drinking water from a river. He wondered why, just the day before, he had been with Sister Zhang buying things, but after taking a nap, he woke up on an unknown island. Chen was wondering if God had punished him. Suddenly, he saw some men and a boy playing. Thinking it was a cosplay, he was shocked when the small boy attacked him with a stick. He started running, asking them not to be serious, thinking they were just filming something. However, it wasn't like that. After a few seconds, Chen put some distance between himself and the primitive people. He thought no one could catch him while sprinting because he was a trained runner. But to his surprise, the primitive people started attacking him with spears. Suddenly, a screen appeared in front of him, revealing that he had a main mission. He was shocked and wondered what it meant. Was it some kind of system? Had he traveled to another world? Still running very fast, he was hit by a spear and fainted. The next thing he remembered was waking up. The scene then shifted to the present time, where Chen's system showed that he had survived and completed his mission. Chen received a reward for completing his mission, a survival package and an attribute point +1. He interpreted this as a game system and wondered if he had been transported into a game world. Chen then opened the survival package and found a split mountain axe as a reward. He also gained proficiency in wild survival and basic medicine. As a result, he became able to understand the language of the primitive people. He then thought that it must be a primitive world, where civilization had yet to begin and everything was in its early stages. He believed the game's objective was to survive in this world and build civilization. So Chen wondered if the system would eventually make him the prime minister or even a god. He asked the system to distribute attribute points to strength and equip the split mountain axe. When it was done, Chen gained enormous strength, which allowed him to easily break the rope he was tied with. However, Chen was soon spotted by the primitive men named Stonebone and Langu Chui. Stonebone ordered the others to capture Chen and not let him escape. Stonebone and Langu Chui approached Chen and told him he couldn't escape. Chen, full of attitude, shouted back, asking how dare they disrespect their god. Stonebone asked what god they didn't know. Seeing Langu Chui, Chen thought he must be the leader. He told Stonebone that he had been sent from heaven to dominate them, and because they had disrespected him, he had to punish them. Hearing this, Stonebone became furious and ran towards Chen to attack him. Chen's system displayed a new mission. He had to deter the primitive people and subdue them to become their leader. It also warned that the penalty for failure would be losing the split mountain axe. Seeing this, Chen became tense because without the axe, he doubted he could survive in such a time and place. Determined not to lose in any scenario, Chen blocked Stonebone's attack, but the ground around them cracked under the force. Seeing the force of Stonebone's attack, Chen was surprised by the strength of the primitive people. However, he knew that his body had been enhanced and wasn't weak either. With full power, Chen pushed back, and to his surprise, Stonebone's weapon was cut in half. Everyone in the primitive camp was stunned by Chen's display of strength. Sensing something bad was about to happen, Chen had a sinking feeling. Suddenly, Stonebone shouted and ordered everyone to charge at Chen together. Stunned, Chen started running away, questioning why Stonebone had agreed to a duel, but now the whole gang was teaming up against a 24-year-old boy. As one boy tried to attack him, Chen dodged and swiftly countered. Furiously, Chen warned them not to go overboard, claiming he could take down 5 people alone before dying and demanded they move back. He realized that if those barbarians attacked him together, he would easily die within seconds. Suddenly, to Chen's surprise, every barbarian started getting scared and running away from him. He wondered what had happened. Suddenly, his system showed that he had a side mission to help the primitive people by chasing away a ferocious saber-tooth, and it had been automatically accepted. Chen was initially confused reading the mission, but his confusion vanished when he realized that a saber-toothed tiger was indeed standing behind him. The moment Chen saw it, he started running to save himself. The tiger chased Chen relentlessly, attacking him as he ran. Chen was tense, wondering why everyone seemed to want to eat him. He couldn't understand why the system would give him a mission like that. Knowing that even one bite from the tiger could make half his body disappear, Suddenly, Chen felt a claw attack from the tiger, which hurt him badly. He realized that fighting head-on wouldn't work in any sense, so he knew he had to calm himself down and think wisely. He noticed smoke rising from a fire and remembered that saber-toothed tigers, like most beasts, were afraid of fire. Chen decided to use this knowledge to his advantage and planned to maneuver out of the situation. He then challenged the tiger to confront him head-on. As the tiger attacked, Chen tried to slide away downward, but to his shock, the tiger used his body as a surface to jump off of. Shocked, Chen started running again, deciding not to trust movies anymore. With no other choice, he ran towards the bonfire, using plants and other objects as cover to reach his destination safely. Dodging and hiding, Chen managed to reach near the bonfire. He quickly grabbed a stick with fire on it and tried to scare the tiger away. To his relief, the tiger was indeed frightened by the fire. Now Chen called out to the tiger to come and fight, but deep down, he was hoping the tiger would retreat. Suddenly, he heard a strange sound and tensely wondered if it was some kind of larger monster approaching him. Hearing the roar of another monster or animal, the saber-toothed tiger became tense and in fear, it ran away. Seeing this, Chen wondered what had scared the tiger off, and if it was running away, he considered what he should do next. Suddenly, Chen's system showed that the mission had been completed, and he received the reward of 2 attribute points. Hearing the sounds again, Chen decided to leave the area first, prioritizing his safety for the time being. He asked the system to allocate 1 point each to strength and agility. With enhanced agility and speed, he sprinted towards the primitive people. Chen noticed a significant increase in his agility and speed. Seeing Chen alive, Stonebone was surprised and asked him in confusion why he hadn't been eaten by the saber-toothed tiger. Chen smiled and replied that to him, the saber-toothed tiger was just like a kitty. So Chen easily defeated the saber-toothed tiger, causing it to run away in fear. Afterward, Chen smiled, hoping that now the primitive people would admire him. Chen received a new mission to assist the primitive people in building their homes, establishing a tribe, and increasing the population to 50 within 18 days. Chen counted and found that there were only a total of 15 people, including children. To expand the tribe to 50 people, he realized he would need to assimilate other tribes into theirs. The scene then shifted to nighttime, where everyone was sleeping, but Chen couldn't sleep because he was hungry. He decided to go and find some food for himself. He noticed that the primitives were so brave that they didn't keep anyone on watch while sleeping. However, his stomach growled again, prompting him to prioritize finding food first. He remembered the roasted lamb he saw earlier, but he was confused and tense about whether to go for it. If a saber-toothed tiger could scare someone, it meant there was something very frightening nearby. Chen tried to reassure himself that he wouldn't encounter the monster, because he needed to find food no matter what. So, with his axe in hand, he moved towards the place where he saw the roasted lamb earlier. Sometime later, Chen cautiously reached the place where the roasted lamb was. He approached carefully, mindful of any dangers. As he got closer, he noticed there were other prey animals nearby. Now that he was a leader, he knew he couldn't only think about himself. So he gathered all the other prey animals. On his way back, he had a strange feeling and suddenly fell into a pit. Furiously, he shouted about who dug the hole there. However, upon closer inspection, he realized it wasn't a hole at all, but rather huge footprints left by a monster or a large animal, like a dinosaur. He then thought that after encountering the saber-toothed tiger, he should have realized this wasn't just a barbaric place, but an era where history's scariest and deadliest creatures lived. He quickly decided to find a safe place for everyone, knowing he couldn't delay for long. The next morning, the primitives were fighting over the food. Seeing this, Chen became frustrated and shouted at everyone to stop snatching food from each other. He realized that the primitives still didn't understand modesty or economy, and he knew he had many things to teach them. Chen then announced that the current food would be given priority to the hunters who had joined him on the hunt that day. Stonebone added that they usually took turns hunting, and the previous day it had been him, Ah Gun, and Huang Shi. Now it's Lu Ting, Heiju Jiao, and Lang Gu Chui's turn for the present-day hunt. Stonebone suggested that everyone wanted to come if their king was going. Everyone agreed with Stonebone, but Chen noticed the boy named Sam who had attacked him the previous day. Chen thought that Sam might be afraid he was holding a grudge against him, so he decided he needed to find a way to cheer Sam up. Chen announced to everyone that whoever wanted to could come with him, as he was searching for a place to build them a home. Hearing this, a girl named Mia came forward and asked what home meant. Chen explained that home was where they would live together as a community, much like how tree roots provide nourishment and security for current and future family members. Hearing this, Mia happily came and hugged Chen, asking if she could live with their king. Chen responded warmly, saying that everyone would be part of one big family in the future, and they would all live together. Mia got excited and started saying that the king was willing to live with her and have kids. Stonebone asked Chen where they were going to build their home. Chen gathered everyone and explained that they needed to find open land with mountains to the north and rivers to the south. And in that way, they would have access to drinking water, irrigation for farming, firewood, and stone materials for construction. It would also establish a relatively secure zone, reducing their risk of being attacked. He also mentioned that they could find enough seeds and wood for farming and building houses in the new location. Chen then thought it would be best if the settlement was near the seaside, as the delta could provide fertile land and a favorable environment for learning to navigate the sea in the future. Sam responded that he knew where the place Chen was mentioning was located. Chen was pleased and asked Sam if he could lead them there. Sam responded that the place wasn't very far, but he suggested they not go because there was a herd of cows that wasn't easy to deal with. Hearing this, Chen wondered why they should be afraid of cows, since they could provide rich meat and other domestic products. So Chen decided that the herd of cows would be their prey, and he asked everyone to get ready as they were heading east towards their new home. The scene then shifted to the place where Sam had taken everyone. He reassured Chen that the area was safe, so they could proceed without worries. Chen urged them not to waste time and assured them not to worry about the saber-toothed tiger, as it had been chased away. If it comes back, he'll save them. Sam explained that once they reached the top of the mountain, they could see where the cows gathered. Upon reaching the summit, Sam tensely instructed everyone to hide because the cows were below. Chen wondered if there were other monsters besides the cow herd. Suddenly, he caught a whiff of the sea and asked his system to open the map. He was pleased to see that it looked like a suitable area to build a city. Out of nowhere, Sam pulled him back and gestured for him to be quiet, warning that the cow herd might hear them. After some time, Chen checked his manual and found that there were 3 plants and 2 animals in the area ahead. The plants included green sunflower grass, dragon wine, and big tsubaki, while the animals were gray squirrels and pincer wasps. When Chen couldn't find any information about the cow herd, he asked Sam for its location. Sam explained that the cow herd was in a small forest near the river bend and offered to take them for a closer look. Half an hour later, they arrived at the forest, where Sam warned that going further could alert the cow herd to their presence. Chen was confused by the quietness around them and wondered why Sam was so concerned about the potential harm from a cow. Suddenly, his scanning results changed, and he grew tense, worrying if there were giant monsters nearby. To his relief, there was only one animal in the surrounding area. Chen then asked Sam if he remembered incorrectly. But before Sam could respond, Chen noticed a tree moving. Sam told Chen to look up, and when Chen did, he was shocked and wondered what type of monster it was. Upon checking the system, it showed that it was an iron black horn cow. Stonebone tensely asked Chen if they were really going to hunt that cow, hiding behind in fear. Chen responded tensely with a yes and instructed them to lay an ambush there while he went to assess the situation. Others were amazed by Chen, thinking he was so cool. However, behind the tree, Chen was crying, wondering why it had come to this because he didn't want the tribe to die. Now he had to rely on his agility attribute. He then checked and noticed that even the cow's arms were bigger than him, so he tried to find the smallest one. Calmly, Chen attempted to greet it, but upon seeing Chen, the cow's facial expression changed and it started roaring at him. Just as he approached, the entire herd of cows started chasing Chen. He swam across the river to the other side, crying out for them not to chase him. Meanwhile, the tribes misunderstood, thinking their leader Chen was bravely provoking the entire herd to keep them safe. They discussed it among themselves while Chen, without hesitation, leaped off the ridge and landed on it. Suddenly the ridge shook, leaving Chen to wonder what was happening. Looking down, he saw that a cow had crashed into the mountain because it couldn't stop itself. Chen got an idea of how to knock them all down because he noticed that the cows were unable to climb such heights. When they returned, Chen pondered what to do because he couldn't descend with the aggressive cows waiting below. So he had no choice but to climb upward. Chen managed to ascend, and upon reaching the top, he was stunned by the view. It was exactly what he had hoped for. He decided to build an entire empire in that perfect spot and felt elated that his journey had finally begun. On the other side, Sam noticed that the cow herd was retreating, so he wondered why it was happening and where their king was. Stonebone speculated whether their king had been crushed by the cows, so he climbed a tree to check, intending to retrieve Chen's axe. But as soon as he stepped onto the tree, Chen's axe came flying and landed beside him in the tree. Stonebone was stunned, and Chen praised him for his boldness in assuming their king had died. Sam and the others were relieved to see Chen alive. Stonebone asked if the cows were very strong. Chen replied that he planned to use cow meat as a nutritional supplement for his body, and asked if they also wanted to try it. Stonebone and Sam declined, saying they weren't a match for those cows, and even if they could defeat them, they wouldn't eat the meat. Chen furiously asked if they hadn't heard what he said, insisting that they just needed to answer his question. They all got scared and agreed that they wanted to eat it. Chen shared that he would teach them how to make weapons and how to hunt using them. He planned for them to return in 3 days to hunt down the cows. In the next scene, Chen cut a tree in half with one slash. Everyone was amazed at his strength, but Stonebone stepped forward and asked Chen why he cut down the tree since it didn't bear any fruit. Chen explained that they would use the tree to make weapons, so they should pay attention to what he was going to do. He instructed them on how to make spears from wooden sticks. Chen noticed that he had a technology attribute bonus when crafting weapons. Chen showed them how to use the spear for hunting by demonstrating how to throw it. The tribes were amazed because in the past, they had always gathered wood but never realized it could be used in such a powerful way. Excitedly, they all expressed their eagerness to try using the spear. Chen asked Stonebone to go first. While Stonebone practiced with the spear, Chen went on to make more spears. Within a few hours, all the tribes started practicing with the spears. While they were practicing, Chen challenged Lu Teng and Heiju Jiao to come at him together for a fight. Both of them charged furiously and attacked Chen, but he easily dodged their attacks. Chen then counterattacked, knocking out Heiju Jiao. Lu Teng, furious, attacked again, and this time some blood was drawn. Everyone was stunned. Chen told Lu Teng that if it had been the sharp side of the spear, he would have been dead by now. Lu Teng shouted that their king was a god and they couldn't defeat him. Chen explained that they were relying on brute force instead of technique, emphasizing that the spear's advantage lay in its tip. He instructed them to use the sharp edge to aim precisely at enemies or prey. Chen asked them to start practicing by focusing first on throwing. He set up a target and asked them to throw at it from a distance. Everyone tried one by one, but no one was able to hit it. Chen thought that maybe no one had any talent at all, and he felt he had been too hasty in his judgment. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a spear hit the target. Chen was surprised to see it, and the others were shocked that someone had actually hit it. Chen turned around and saw that Huang Shi was standing there. Chen asked Huang Shi if he was the one who threw the spear. Huang Shi asked if he had won. Chen replied with a yes and gave him 2 spears as a gift. Suddenly, someone came and told Chen that a beast was approaching them. Chen asked everyone to be ready for the fight, but deep down, he was happy that he could use this hunt to gain them some experience. A beast emerged from the forest and roared in front of everyone. Chen jumped towards the beast, shouting that they were going to have it as their dinner for the night. The fight started, and Chen instructed everyone to listen to his commands, circle around the beast, and wait for his orders. He then attacked the beast, and as he did, the beast's speed slowed down. Chen asked Stonebone and Huang Shi to throw their spears from the backside. As they attacked, the beast became furious and forcefully pushed Chen back, breaking his spear. Chen knew he needed to act quickly. But before that, Huang Shi threw the spear, and it perfectly targeted the beast's mouth. Chen was impressed by Huang Shi's accuracy. Gradually, everyone started throwing spears at the beast, and Sam was waiting above, sitting in a tree. Due to the onslaught of attacks, the beast tried to flee, but Chen blocked its path and instructed Sam to attack. Sam jumped towards the beast and thrust his spear into its head. The beast became even more furious and entered a berserk mode. Everyone tensed up at the sight of the berserk beast. Sam was in danger, still holding the spear he had used to attack. Chen ran towards the beast and leaped to strike with his axe. There was a sudden blast, and the entire area filled with smoke. Everyone anxiously wondered if their king was okay. When the smoke cleared, Chen asked everyone to stop shouting, jokingly asking if they were trying to summon souls. He then praised everyone for their efforts and announced that they would have a hearty meal that night. Hearing this, everyone became happy. Chen then praised Sam for his exceptional work and told Huang Shi that he was the MVP of the hunt. He promised that in the future, Huang Shi would accompany him on hunts and that he would provide Huang Shi with new weapons to try out. The scene then shifted sometime later, where Stonebone was telling the other tribes how he had helped Chen defeat the beast. Mia was walking nearby with a piece of meat, and Stonebone asked her to give it to him. But Mia denied, saying that the meat was reserved for their king. She then offered it to Chen to eat. Chen asked if they were going to eat it raw. Mia asked if there was a problem with that. Chen mentioned that he remembered them using fire to cook, so he wondered why they were now eating it raw. Mia responded that they couldn't preserve the fire source from last time, so they had no choice but to eat it raw. Chen then thought that fire marked the beginning of civilization, as it allowed humans to fend off wild beasts, create a safer and more comfortable living environment, and improve their diet. He decided that to empower the primitive tribes, he would teach them how to make fire. Chen then asked everyone to gather around so he could teach them how to make fire. He took a broken spear and used it on a wooden block to create sparks. He instructed them to add wood shavings and tree fluff into the depression in the trunk and roll it between their hands to create friction and ignite the fire. Seeing the fire, the tribes were amazed and started praising Chen. Stonebone began shouting that their king had produced fire and wanted everyone to know. But Chen angrily grabbed him and told him to shut up, emphasizing the importance of maintaining a low profile. Chen received a reward of 10 technology points, and he realized that earning technology points was relatively easy, although he didn't initially know their use. Upon investigation, he discovered that technology points could be used to identify hereditary plaques, with each identification consuming 10 technology points. While Chen was pondering over the technology points, Sam approached and informed him that while they were dividing the meat, he noticed traces of nursing on the wild boar. He suspected that there might be cubs nearby, and upon searching the nearby areas, he actually found them. Suddenly, Chen received a side quest to fence in the wild boar cubs and domesticate them. The system asked Chen if he wanted to accept the quest. Chen then asks Mia and Sam to go together and bring back the boar cubs. He tells them to be careful and not hurt the cubs because he wants all of them. Mia holds Sam's hand, and they run to where the boar cubs are. Chen thought of making a pigsty before they returned, so he went and asked Stonebone to come after eating because he had some work for him. The scene then shifted to the evening, where Stonebone was carrying wooden branches and asked his friends why their king had asked them to bring so many branches. Upon returning to their den, Stonebone saw that the others were making something new. Confused, he asked Huang Shi what they were doing. Huang Shi responded that the king called it a grass rope, and it was sturdier than the vines they used before. He also explained the process. They had to smooth out the straw and then weave it into ropes by crossing. Stonebone got frustrated because he didn't understand what was going on. Chen asked Stonebone not to just stand there and to bring the branches to him. He then told everyone to pick up the branches and tie the grass ropes in a specific way. They needed to make at least 5 of those wooden frames. Then he asked them to insert the wooden frames into the pits he had prepared. After that, they were to bind the frames together at the top to form the shape of a cage and cover them with straw in an orderly manner. As soon as it was ready, the entire tribe rushed inside the pigsty and started fighting, each wanting to live there and have children with the king. Seeing them, Chen got tense and said that the pigsty wasn't for them. Just then, Sam and Mia returned with the cubs. Chen asked Sam to put the cubs in the pigsty he had made. Hearing this, Stonebone ran towards Chen, crying and shouting that he couldn't do that. Stonebone again asked Chen how such a good nest could be given to those wild boars. Agun also hugged Chen, agreeing with Stonebone and saying they all wanted to live in that nest. Stonebone added that they wanted a home where they could cuddle with the king. Hearing that, Chen furiously threw them away, saying he didn't want to cuddle with a man. He then stated that he didn't care if they wanted to live in the pigsty, but when they built comfortable houses, neither of them would have a place in them. Agun was stunned upon hearing it and suggested that if there was a better nest available, he didn't mind living elsewhere and Chen could let Stonebone live in it. However, Stonebone also refused to live in the pigsty. Chen then instructed Sam to put all the boars in the pigsty. Huang Shi came to Chen and asked why they needed to care for those wild boars if they were meant to be their food. Chen responded by asking if they didn't want to have plenty of food to eat without hunting. Huang Shi was happy to hear it and responded with a yes. Chen explained that by raising those cubs and having them produce more piglets, they could secure a stable food source. Chen received his reward for completing the quest of taming the beasts. Upon opening it, he found a packet of salt from the supply chest and learned recipes for fried eggplant, stir-fried peanuts, fried eggs, roast lamb legs, and stir-fried clams. Confused by the rewards, Chen wondered if the system was suggesting he become a chef, considering their underdeveloped technology. His system indicated that completing these recipes could unlock special rewards. Seeing the recipes, Chen decided to give cooking a try. Late at night, everyone else was asleep except for Chen and Sam. Chen praised Sam for his daily hard work. Sam responded that he felt he had caused trouble for their king when they captured him, so he believed it was better for him to endure some hardships. Chen hugged him and laughingly reassured Sam that he held no grudges against him. He then asked Sam if there were any other tribes living nearby like theirs. Sam responded that they had encountered a few other tribes, but they were all unfriendly and looked quite different from them. Chen asked Sam to tell him more about where these tribes were located. Sam shared that he knew about 3 different clans nearby: the Coconut Grove clan, the Bay clan, and the Giant Stone clan. He mentioned they were located at a considerable distance, requiring at least a day and night of travel to reach their territories. Chen asked Sam to provide details about each of the clans. Sam shared that the Coconut Grove clan had around 30-40 members who disliked conflicts and were skilled in long journeys. Their leader was a formidable woman. Sam then described the Bay clan, noting that it also consisted of 30 to 40 members who looked terrifying. He mentioned that the Bay clan was known for constantly engaging in internal conflicts. Lastly, Sam talked about the Giant Stone clan, which was the most powerful with the largest population. They typically resided on a mountain in the southwest and only occasionally came down for activities. Sam mentioned that he had heard the leader of the Giant Stone clan possessed divine power and could defeat a tiger with bare hands. After hearing about everyone, Chen thought that if Sam's intel was correct, then the Coconut Grove clan would be the most ideal first target for assimilation. He reasoned that with the other groups full of complexities and potential conflicts, he would need to find a peaceful way to conquer them. Suddenly feeling someone behind him, Chen turned and found Mia hugging him from behind. She asked why he hadn't slept yet and if he wanted to do something exciting with her. Tensely, Chen responded with a no. Mia sat on the ground in a weird position and asked if she looked like a kitty, Chen felt tense and quickly took Sam by the hand, running away. He said that it seemed like Sam needed his help with something, so he would talk with her later. Mia felt a little sad by Chen's action. The scene then shifted to the next morning, where Chen and Sam were waiting for the Bay Clan people to arrive near the seaside. The Bay Clan people arrived at the seaside to hunt a dodo bird. Chen felt a little happy that they had come after waiting all night. However, he noticed that the Bay Clan members started fighting amongst themselves over the bird. Chen wondered if they could absorb the Bay Clan, not only to increase their numbers, but also to secure resources like the dodo birds. Sam responded that their numbers were not even half of those in the Bay Clan, so they couldn't win in a fight. Chen then thought that if they had powerful weapons, maybe they could win, but first, they would have to deal with the herd of cows. Afterward, they could use the new resources to craft even more powerful weapons and equipment. So they headed back to their den, and everyone became happy upon seeing Chen return. Stonebone shared that they had thought their king had abandoned them. Chen apologized to everyone for making them worry and explained that they had a lot to do. He asked Stonebone to practice throwing spears and instructed Huang Shi to be in charge of teaching them throwing skills. Chen gave Huang Shi 1 day to make them as proficient as possible. Suddenly, Mia arrived and showed a leaf, mentioning its comfort for wiping after going to the bathroom. Chen replied that he needed help sharpening the wooden spears, so Mia should gather all the women and collect some rocks. The scene then shifted after some time, where Mia returned with the other ladies carrying rocks in their hands. Mia asked if the rocks were okay. Chen responded affirmatively and explained that they needed to rub the stones on the whetstone until a sharp edge or point was obtained. Then tie the stone onto a wooden stick with rope, and there they have it. A wooden stone axe. The girls were amazed by it, but Chen was furious when he received only 1 point as a reward. Chen then instructed them to follow his directions and show what they had made. Mia asked Chen to look, as she had already created one. When Chen looked, he saw that Mia had made a dual-edged axe, so he praised her for it. Mia was happy to hear the praises, and then Chen unlocked a new hidden feature called Talent Discovery. When Chen looked at Mia, his system indicated that she had a talent for tool building. Mia noticed Chen staring at her, so she asked him embarrassingly why he was looking at her. Chen didn't respond to her question and instead instructed the ladies to build as many spears and axes as they could. Gradually, they managed to create a total of 30 spears and axes. Chen praised Mia for creating more than half of the total weapons. Suddenly, he noticed that her hands were scratched and injured from rubbing the stones. Seeing Chen show concern for her, Mia blushed. At that moment, other girls also came and asked if Chen cared about them too. Chen responded that it's not what they think, but they got very close to him. He quickly ran away from there, declaring that it was enough for the day and that everyone could take a break. As he headed toward where the men were training and practicing, he suddenly got attacked with a log of wood, but somehow he dodged it and realized it was part of the tribe's training regimen, with Huang Shi teaching them well. Chen then asked Huang Shi about their progress. Huang Shi responded that everyone had made significant progress and could now easily hit their targets. Chen's talent discovery screen showed that Huang Shi was a throwing master. Huang Shi shared that Lu Ting had great strength but struggled with the timing of throws, and he could only unleash his potential when teamed up with Stonebone. Huang Shi also mentioned that Lang Gu Chui was the first to master the technique. What surprised him the most was the effectiveness of the yellow stone and wolfbone hammer. Individually, they were ordinary, but when used together as a team, they alternately threw 4 spears and scored the highest points. Chen was happy to hear it, thinking that now they could easily deal with the horde of black bulls. Stonebone asked if Chen was sure about it. Chen responded affirmatively, but to be safe, they should also bring the secret weapon. Huang Shi was surprised and asked which secret weapon Chen was referring to. Chen took out some black leaves and instructed everyone to look closely, asking them to collect as much as they could. He warned them not to touch the leaves with any open wounds on their hands, as the leaves contained a natural paralyzing drug. The scene then shifted to nighttime, where Chen beat a stone to make a mortar out of it. Meanwhile, Mia brought all the spears they had and asked Chen why he had dug a shallow pit in the stone. Chen responded that it was a mortar, and Mia would soon understand its use. He then asked her to gather all the ladies and use the stone club to crush the leaves in the pit. After crushing them, they were to apply the mixture on the tips of the wooden spears. Lu Ting came and asked Chen about the men, expressing their desire to join in with the club. Chen asked them to stay and rest, explaining that he needed them in the morning for the hunt. The scene then shifted sometime later, where Chen was eating grilled meat and putting salt on it. Suddenly, Mia came and threw a spear towards him, letting him know that the application had been done. Chen stood up and asked the ladies to stay behind to guard the place and their children. He instructed the rest of the people to accompany him to the mountain. Everyone became happy and prepared their weapons, ready to show the monsters what they were capable of. The scene then shifted after some time, where they reached the top of the mountain. Ah Gun asked the others if it was okay for their king to act as bait alone, expressing concern about the danger involved. Stonebone responded that their king was so powerful, so there shouldn't be any danger. Sam asked everyone to get ready as there was movement near the river. Stonebone instructed Mia and the other ladies to make sure they handed out the spears on time, especially making sure Sam didn't run out of spears, as their king was taking a big risk and they couldn't afford to lose him. So, let's see what actually happened. 10 minutes ago, Chen was wandering near the black bulls and thinking that, like last time, escaping to Stone Mountain would be the best way. But being cautious, he decided to lure a small one first. He approached the smaller bull and threw a stone, declaring himself as the leader of the gang and challenging it to come and face him. Hearing this, the black bull became furious, and suddenly, 3 bulls started chasing Chen out of nowhere. While running, Chen asked Stonebone to aim at the first black bull. Stonebone quickly ordered everyone to get ready and then threw the spears all at once. It worked. The black bulls were injured. Taking advantage of the distraction, Sam threw spears aimed at the bulls' necks. They all collided on the mountain, and Chen jumped towards a ledge to get higher, but his hand slipped from the edge. Somehow Stonebone grabbed his hand and saved him. Chen ordered everyone to attack the bulls while they were weakened, so they continued their assault. Stonebone took charge and began commanding the attacks. Chen noticed Stonebone's leadership qualities and realized why Stonebone was so skilled at giving commands. He saw that Stonebone was worth cultivating into a capable leader. Stonebone then came and informed Chen that it seemed the bulls were calming down. Chen was happy to see that the tranquilizer worked faster than he expected. Suddenly, Sam shouted tensely that the other bulls were also charging towards them. Chen was surprised to see that the bulls were faster than he expected. He asked everyone not to panic, reassuring them that everything was going according to his plan. They just needed to deal with the 3 bulls below and ensure they didn't escape. The black bulls were trying to back away, but they were moving very slowly. Seeing this, Chen realized the poison was already working, so he told the others to aim at the bulls' legs and not let them escape. So, Stonebone asked everyone to throw their spears, and with that, all 3 bulls were knocked down and lying on the ground. Chen told them to stop, but Stonebone said that now wasn't the time for Chen to be soft-hearted, as they needed to deal with those 3 bulls before the others arrived. Chen asked how many spears they had left. Mia responded that they had 28 spears. Then Chen asked Sam to check how many bulls were arriving in the herd. Sam responded that there were about 20 bulls. Chen then explained that this was why he asked them to stop, as they had a limited number of spears. Huangshi asked if giving up meant that all their efforts dealing with the 3 black bulls so far would be wasted. Chen responded with a no, explaining that this was just part of the plan. He never intended to face the entire herd with just a few of their squad members. From the beginning, the goal was to take down the bulls' leader. It's all because, after that, the remaining black bulls would just scatter and flee. To lure out the boss, they need some bait, which is why Chen needs those black bulls alive and cannot let them go. Chen also mentioned that his original plan was to use only 1 bull as bait, but dealing with the extra 2 ended up using a considerable number of spears. Suddenly, Sam shouted that he could see the leader of the black bulls, and it looked like a giant monster. The leader of the bulls roared, and all the bulls started running towards the mountain to ram into it. At first, Chen and the others wondered if the bulls had gone mad. But soon, Chen realized that the bull boss didn't intend to fight. Suddenly, they realized that the mountain was starting to collapse. Chen shouted for everyone to hurry back and find cover, but Mia couldn't make it in time and fell to the ground as the mountain crumbled. Seeing this, Chen jumped towards the ground without thinking, asking Agun to come with him. Heiju, Jiao, and Langu Chui also followed, coming down to help. Now it's time for the battle, as they all had to fight no matter what. Heiju Jiao asked Agun what they should do, whether they should go and fight the bulls. Agun responded to not act recklessly and wait for the leader's call. At that moment, Chen was tense, thinking that the bull's boss had already seen through his trap, and he was frustrated by how intelligent the bull was. Stonebone asked the others who were left on the mountain to go and protect their leader, but Chen shouted and asked them to stop, emphasizing that they needed to attack with the spears from above. Now the fight began, with everyone engaging. Chen wielded his axe, while others used spears and stone axes. Through teamwork, defending themselves and attacking the bulls in coordinated strikes, they managed to injure many of the bulls. Taking the opportunity, Stonebone also urged those on the mountain to throw spears at the bulls. Seeing a few bulls knocked down, suddenly all the bulls stopped, and the boss bull said something to them. To Chen's surprise, the bulls started retreating. Seeing this, Chen wondered if the herd had received an order to back off because now the boss himself would join the fight. Out of nowhere, rain started falling, and the bull boss approached, inhaling the air and breathing out flames from his mouth. Seeing this, Chen tensely asked everyone to get aside and dodge the attack. The attack was so powerful that it created a hole in the mountain and even cleared a path to the top. On the other hand, all the tribes were scared to see the attack, wondering whether it was a sound wave or the roar of the bull. The impact was so intense that everyone's morale plummeted in seconds. Realizing this, Chen asked Gun to take Mia and the others northward while he himself would draw the bull boss's attention. He instructed Stonebone to wait for his command and declared to the bull boss that he would be his opponent. The battle started head-on, with Chen attempting to block the bull boss, but the bull boss easily threw Chen aside. Chen then considered using the path created by the bull boss's attack. But the boss bull chased Chen and slammed into the mountain, causing a big blast. Seeing this, others became tense, fearing their leader was lost, but ultimately decided not to retreat and to fight with full determination. Suddenly Chen's axe swung and struck the boss bull's head. Chen was alive, and this happened because he had used the hole created in the mountain a few minutes ago. Chen even thanked the bull boss for sparing his life, though deep down he knew he was heavily injured. Seeing Chen alive, the tribes felt a sense of relief, but Chen shouted at Stonebone to get ready and wait for his command. The fight continued, with Gun and Heiju Jiao attempting to draw the bull boss's attention so Chen could attack from behind. Gun bravely jumped towards the bull boss but was injured by his horn. Chen quickly intervened, attacking the bull boss's face to free Gun from the horn's grasp. The bull boss unleashed another flame attack, but everyone managed to dodge it, and Chen retaliated with a successful strike, creating a wound on the bull boss's body. He then shouted to Stonebone and Sam to throw their spears at the wound. They successfully aimed at the wounds, causing the bull boss to stumble and fall to the ground. Everyone wondered if they had won and started celebrating the victory. However, Chen remained confused because the herd of bulls was still waiting and not attacking, even after their leader had died. Out of nowhere, the bull boss stood up again and attacked Chen, unleashing a furious flamethrower. Stonebone and Huangshu were shocked to see this, and Chen himself was tense because he had let his guard down at that moment. Now the bull boss pulled the spear from his own body and hurled it towards Chen. Chen, injured and unable to move quickly, wondered if this was the end for him. To his shock, Mia stepped in between them and took the spear attack herself. First, Chen was stunned, recalling the moments he had shared with Mia. Suddenly, he felt a surge of furious anger overwhelming him. Despite his system warning of overload, Chen furiously jumped towards the bull. Chen then slashed the bull boss with all his strength from top to bottom. Surprisingly, this time the bull boss was indeed cut in half from Chen's powerful attack. Chen was in full furious mode and shouted at the rest of the bulls to come and fight him, daring whoever wanted to die to face him. As the bulls looked at each other, the moment Chen moved forward, they started retreating and running away. Afterward, Chen felt relieved, but his system indicated his life was in danger. Suddenly, he coughed up blood and began to faint slowly. Everyone rushed to check on him, but before losing consciousness, he looked at Mia and instructed them to retrieve and apply hemostatic ointment. The scene then shifted to several days later, in a pigsty where Chen woke up from unconsciousness. As he opened his eyes, he saw Ayu standing in front of him. Chen first asked if it was the pigsty he had set up, but Ayu denied it, explaining that they had moved to this place after driving away the bulls, and the shed was built for him. She then asked him to lie down while she went to inform everyone that he had woken up. Chen asked Ayu to first tell him about Mia and Lang Gu Chui. Ayu responded that when they found Lang Gu Chui, he was on his last breath, but he recovered quickly. After waking up, Lang Gu Chui had been standing outside, guarding Chen ever since. Ayu then shared that Mia's injuries were a bit more severe, but thanks to the king's divine medicine, as long as Mia rested more, she would be fine. Everyone else was also doing well. Chen was relieved and happy that everyone was okay. Ayu agreed, saying that everyone's health had stabilized over the past 4 days. Hearing this, Chen was shocked and asked, what did she mean by 4 days? Chen checked the system and realized that 4 days had indeed passed, leaving him with only 11 days left to complete the mission. Ayu was also confused, noting that their king often seemed lost in thought, staring into the air for reasons unknown. He then tried to stand up but couldn't. Ayu asked Chen to rest, but he insisted he was fine and asked her to call Stonebone immediately. She agreed and hurried out of the shed. Chen then realized that without combat or deterrent power, if this secret got out, their mission could fail in an instant. Now that they had moved to a new place, they needed to quickly build a fence around it, and later replace it with wooden walls for better security. Until Stonebone arrived, Chen asked him to listen from outside. Stonebone agreed, and then Chen whispered something to him in a secretive manner that no one else could hear. Stonebone then went to carry out the task Chen had given him. Chen then realized it wasn't enough, as they couldn't afford to make the same mistake as last time. He knew he had to ensure that everything was foolproof this time. Chen then told Lang Gu Chui that he had a task for him. Lang Gu Chui asked Chen to explain. Chen asked Lang Gu Chui to retrieve the bones and hides of the Black Bull King, ensuring the hides were as intact as possible. To Lang Gu Chui's surprise, Chen gave him his own weapon for the task. After they both left, Ayu asked Chen to rest, but Chen refused, saying he needed to talk to her. He asked her to come inside where they could speak privately, away from everyone else. When she came inside, Chen explained that he had sent the others away to assign her an important mission. Upon hearing this, Ayu responded affirmatively and began to undress. She had misunderstood Chen's intention, thinking he wanted to initiate a romantic encounter. Seeing the misunderstanding, Chen became tense and shouted at Ayu to put her clothes back on. Ayu felt embarrassed upon realizing her mistake. Chen then clarified that he wanted her to stage a play, as he planned to send someone to negotiate with the Coconut Grove clan. The goal was to persuade the Coconut Grove clan to join and follow Chen's command. Ayu tensely asked if Chen thought the Coconut Grove clan, with its larger numbers, would agree to join them. Chen responded that this was precisely why they needed to demonstrate their team's strength and convince the Coconut Grove clan to join immediately. Chen explained 2 reasons for choosing Ayu. Firstly, their tribe was led by females, so as a woman, she could communicate more effectively with them. Secondly, only she knew about his current situation, as his all-out attack had caused catastrophic damage to his body. Though the ointment had prevented it from worsening, he still needed a better treatment. Ayu smiled and asked if they were planning to scare the Coconut Grove clan with a bluff. She assured Chen that she knew what to do, so he could rest and leave everything to her. The scene then shifted to some time later, where Sam and Ayu were heading towards the Coconut Grove clan. Sam told Ayu that even though the Coconut Grove clan disliked conflicts, he still believed that they shouldn't provoke them at the present time. She responded that she understood, and they continued on. Upon reaching their destination, Sam showed Ayu a fountain where every girl of the Coconut Grove clan was bathing. Then, Sam pointed out the leader of the Coconut Grove clan, the person they were looking for. While they were discussing, they were discovered by some members of the Coconut Grove clan. The scene then shifted to some time later, where Ayu and Sam were presented in front of Lisa, the leader of the Coconut Grove clan. The girls told Lisa that they had captured Ayu and Sam sneaking around, claiming they had come as envoys to visit the leader of their clan. Sam shouted that they were not mere visitors but ambassadors, a title bestowed upon them by their king. Lisa responded by mocking them, commenting that Ayu lived like a slave and the men fed the fish, with the meat serving as dinner for a few days. She then had Sam taken away from Ayu. Ayu shouted that she had expected the queen of the Coconut Grove clan to be more farsighted, but it seemed she was mistaken. She declared that the mountain of meat they had planned to give would now go to the Bay clan instead. Lisa asked her underlings to wait and let Ayu finish speaking. Then Lisa asked Ayu if she had said there was a mountain of meat. Ayu responded affirmatively, explaining that it referred to a group of large black bulls living near the northern river. Lisa then asked Ayu if she wanted to join forces with the Coconut Grove clan to hunt the black bull herd. Ayu laughed and told Lisa not to underestimate them, explaining that they had already taken down the black bull herd and that the area near the river already belonged to them. Hearing this, the women of the Coconut Grove clan were stunned and murmured that Ayu must be exaggerating, recalling how their clan had almost been trampled by the black bull herd last time. Lisa stood up and asked Ayu if she knew the fate of those who lied to her. Ayu responded confidently, stating that even the largest of the black bulls had been defeated by their king. She invited Lisa to see for herself if she didn't believe it. When a girl tried to warn Lisa, Ayu laughed, dismissing their concerns and jokingly suggesting that if their king wished, he could easily topple the entire Coconut Grove clan. Sam also agreed and shared that they hadn't come to attack. They came bearing gifts and to deliver their king's invitation. He questioned why there was any doubt about their sincerity. Ayu then furiously added that if the queen lacked the courage to go herself, she could send someone to retrieve the meat. Seeing Ayu like that, Lisa became a bit tense but still warned Ayu that they better not be playing any tricks. The scene then shifted to a moment later, where Ayu and Sam returned with Lisa and her group. Sam shared that they had returned. Stonebone shouted at Sam not to make a big fuss about it and to go help the others build the houses. Upon hearing this, a girl asked Lisa what the houses were. Ayu then informed Chen that the people from the Coconut Grove clan had arrived. Seeing Chen, Lisa became tense and felt a strong killing intent emanating from him. It felt as though she was facing an ancient beast. In reality, Chen had dressed himself as a beast from ancient times. Chen responded to Ayu that she had done well. Seeing Chen's intense demeanor and way of speaking, Lisa became tense. Suddenly, they heard a sound coming from the bushes. It turned out to be Mia, Lang Guchui, and Ah Gun hiding inside, as Chen had instructed all the injured people to remain hidden so they wouldn't be visible. Ah Gun shared that he was just curious to see what the queen of the Coconut Grove clan looked like. Chen then expressed his gratitude to Lisa and her clan for accepting his request and making the trip to their land. A girl from the Coconut Grove clan furiously asked where the meat Chen had mentioned was. Chen calmly responded that it was just around the corner and they could take as much as they could carry. When they arrived at the location, they were stunned to see a literal mountain of meat. Heijian and Lutung were cutting the meat. A girl from the Coconut Grove clan approached them to take some, but they informed her that the meat was tough. When she tried to cut it from a stick, the stick broke under the pressure. Seeing this, Lutung and Heijian started laughing. The girl shouted and asked what was so funny, stating that they were lucky to catch the bulls during their dispute. Heijin furiously asked if the girl wanted to fight with them. Suddenly Chen's axe slammed into the ground, causing the girls from the Coconut Grove clan to become scared and tense.